So if I'm checking this right, I do believe we're live now.
We are live.
We are live. All right, sweet. I don't remember how to do this anymore. I'm so lost. Hey guys, I'm gonna look at you like this because it's been so long since we've done a show. Well, since I've done a broadcast for Beer Better Thoughts, but it's back, baby. It's back. The new Sunday time slot, sort of, for now. But
We're
we're gonna
ready to
try it, see
go.
if it works. Beer Better Thoughts here. We're gonna talk about. I'm here live with Elise Spinebreaker, aka the Dragon, aka the Mother of Dragons. I forgot all your other nicknames.
I think that's all my nicknames.
Yeah, Spinebreaker, the Dragon, Mother of Dragons. I kind of think there was one more, but okay. But yeah, we're back. We're back. We're gonna do this Sunday time slot. We're gonna talk about the pro fights, the pro fight cards for August 5th. And we're gonna talk about some beer news, some beer mail. We're talking about my beer mail and some booger news. We're gonna talk about some things. But Elise, I know that you've had your offspring has been born, the dragon, the young
Yes.
dragon. Have you been able to drink beer since then? Since releasing?
Yes, I've been averaging approximately 2 whole beers a week.
All right, that's pretty good. That's about what I'm drinking right now.
Yeah.
As you guys notice, I am drinking a Shiner today. Shiner Bock. We are going to talk about my beer mail, so we are going to watch that. We're going to eat that. We're going to go over that in a moment. But we're going to talk about uh, the Pro Fight card for August 5th. So if you guys don't know, Pro Fights are back for right now. We don't know the next card. But for right now, August 5th will be the first card we have so far. And we're going to talk about that. And let me see if I can share my screen. This feature is going to work because it worked before. And we're going to talk about the cards. And hopefully you guys can see it. All right. Yeah, that should be working. Perfect. Cool. I know we have this card up, but then we're going to talk before we talk about this first one, which is Kelsey versus Kelsey. Kelsey versus Kelsey. Um,
Duel of the Kelseys.
the duel of the Kelseys. There is a card that was added. There was a fight that was added that don't have a card for, but is on the docket. And that's going to be Kenny versus Liam Coe. Did I say his name from here?
Yeah, that's Liam.
Mm-hmm. So, first card, Liam versus Kenny. Kenny fought on almost all the fight cards last year. If I'm not
Yeah.
mistaken.
Oh yeah,
Except for
Kenny's I think fought the most out of anybody at Warlord on these Friday night pro fights.
yeah, he's always the opening match. I think we did what 6 last year, 6 or 7. I think we did 7, and I think there was only one that he wasn't on.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so he did a bunch. So there's Kenny, and then Liam, who's with Hema, who's a Hema person, who had hopped in armor like early on a couple years ago here and there, but
Yeah.
really focused on Hema.
Yeah,
Uh,
Liam doesn't have a whole lot of armored experience.
no, but I guess he got the call, and he was supposed to fight Jonathan Hennon, but Jonathan Hennon had to drop out, so Kenny was free, and he was like, "Yeah, sure, I'll do it." Of course, Kenny'd be like, "He'll show." Of course, he's gonna show up. He's like, "Yeah, sure, I'll do it."
Yeah.
So then we were like, "Okay, well, who's fighting Kenny and fight?" Liam said, "No, I still fight him." So I think I talked to Liam. Liam raised into like a 145, 150, and Kenny's like 160.
Yeah,
So
I
it's
think
still like a 20-pound weight difference, but it's about as close as you're gonna get.
Kenny is substantially taller as well. I think Liam's like 5'6".
Yeah, 5'6". K's probably like 5'9" or
Yeah.
so.
Okay, I think Kenny's taller even.
Maybe 5'9", 5'10", something like that.
Yeah. Uh
I
so
think
Kenny has way more experience in armor, way more experience in pro fights specifically,
right.
than I think probably anybody. He's just fought a ton of pro fights.
Yeah.
Uh, but Liam's been doing armored. Liam's been doing Hema fighting for a long time, and I think I think he's been doing some other kind of combat.
Punch
I've
or something like that? Was he doing like that for a
No,
little
I don't think he's ever done. As far as I know, he's never done armored combat,
while?
but or not the way that we do it.
Yeah,
Because Harnish-Vectin, for those of you tuning in, is just kind of like Buhurt, except it's HEMA.
yeah.
It's just armored HEMA. Just armored HEMA.
Armored Heat,
But
stab,
it's a lot slower than regular HEMA, because if you ever watch regular HEMA, they're like boop, you're out, boop, you're out, boop, you're out. With Harnish-Vectin, you have to stab somebody in the gaps in between the armor, and you don't just touch. You have to press and push them back in most cases. So it's the pace is a lot slower. It's still a lot shorter. It's nothing like a pro fight.
Yeah. Now, as much as I would say, Liam hasn't had much armor combat experience, right? The last couple of weeks, ever since he found out about the fights, I think the last 3 weeks, he has been focusing on it.
Okay.
So he's hopped in armor a couple of times. We had that regional training. He was there for that. A couple days before that, he had hopped in kit. He hopped in kit, do some solo work, hopped in some soft kit. So he's been coming to my class, the duels class, and then to stick around and do some pro fight stuff. So we've kind of put a game plan together to kind of focus on his strengths, and kind of overshadow his weaknesses when it comes to that.
And your biggest concern is always gassing out, especially in a pro fight. This is like the most intense armored experience you're going to get. This is the situation where you're going to have to be on for longer than even in a melee. Because on a melee, you can take a break, you can hug your friends or your opponents and sort of lean up against the rail for a while. You really can't do that in a pro fight. Yeah. So
even a duel is like it's over in the next 30 seconds. So I'm going to hold out until then. But yeah, I think the gas will come into play, and I don't think it's going to be the armor that's going to hold him back. I definitely it's going to be the weight of the weapon that's going to be the most tiring for him.
So that is a good point.
I think he'll be okay with armor. I think what's going to happen is his arm is going to tire out.
What weapon are they using for the fight? Do you know?
They're using sword and shield.
Sword and shield.
Yeah.
I've seen Liam do sword and buckler, and he's fine. But
we're talking about a much heavier weapon than he's used to.
It is a much heavier weapon, and the bouts are much longer than he's used to. Right. So he just is not going to have the forearm stamina.
Yeah. So I gave some pointers. I did give him some pointers on that. Some things that can help him kind of prolong that.
Yeah.
And I think what's going to happen is that I think what I told him, and I think here's what's usually not in Kenny's best strengths, but what Kenny can do is because of the size difference, he can take the same tactic he did when he fought Jonathan Hennon, right? He can come in with these really strong haymakers, haymaking, sword strike, then followed up with a haymaker, shield punch, going for the close grab, and then just kind of really use his strength to just knock him over, right? Because Liam doesn't have the most grappling experience in armor. I think if I were to say movement and speed, they're very similar, but I want to say Liam's a little bit faster because he's been focused on that footwork for a little bit longer.
Yes.
Not to say that Kenny's not good at footwork, but Liam's been really, but HEMA, it's really, really required. So I think if Kenny can close and with those haymakers and those devastating haymakers, and then haymakers with the strikes and punches, and he closes in, it's going to be a long match for him. But that's how I think that fight's go. I much as I want to give it to Kenny, I really do. But I think if Liam takes the game plan that we talked about, and I won't reveal it so that it makes it fair game. I think if he sticks to that, and he can just really stick to that, and because he does have a much broader sense of sword work.
Yeah.
If he can really stick to that and stay out of Kenny's range and really move, and even if he can only keep it up for 2 out of the 3 rounds and really get over that 20% and never get taken down, I think he can pull it out.
Yeah, I think the big thing is not letting himself get tied up, not letting himself get grappled.
Right.
And he's not going to be able to devastate Kenny with sword strikes over and over again in quick succession because of the weight of that sword.
Right.
But if he can maintain a good distance, and now he does have a range disadvantage, But his speed may make up for that, and
Very true.
that like continued. Uh, he's got sort of just like a lot of combat experience, a lot of experience reading his opponent in like a duel setting. So I think I think he's got a fighting chance. But it is, in my opinion, a toss up. I couldn't say.
Yeah. So before we move on to the first night, we're going to talk about the first beer, my first beer mail, which is the Tucana Tangerine Sour.
Ooh, sours.
Yeah, sour by Ecliptic Brewing, made in Portland. A twist of tangerine plays with balanced tartness of this sunset-hued sour ale. Ooh. It's 4.8% ABVs. My beer mail comes from Get Beer Drop. I'm not sponsored by them, but maybe one day if I'm ever consistent with my streams and I talk about them enough, maybe they will. I do want to thank all my micro sponsors, the people who have bought my t-shirts or been to my website. Go to my website, beerbellythoughts.com, buy a shirt, help me pay for stuff, or just because they're cool. And I also house I also host the Knights of Wakanda gear on there too, so you guys want to go there and buy that. Shameless plug. I don't have any warlords or mythics. That's not my thing. I don't have it. But Tucana tangerine sour. I drank a sour the other day. Sometimes I'm into sour, and sometimes I'm not. It's kind of one of those things. It's hot outside, so it's like, oh, it does hit the spot right now. But
Oh yeah.
Winters I don't drink them often. But if it's hot enough, I'm like, I'll drink 2 beers. I don't really typically drink that often are sours and like double or triple IPAs. But when it's hot outside and I'm thirsty, sours and DPAs and triple IPAs, they hit the spot. I don't know why. They just do. But yeah. So, first beer down, first fight down. And now we have, like you said,
Kelsey's.
the Battle of the Kelseys.
Oh yeah.
This one's going to be a tough one.
So Kelsey Lita out of Nashville.
Mhm.
So she's been fighting for 2 years. She's been training with Mickey, under Mickey, and the Alicorns. The Alicorns have like 1 million members right now.
Yeah.
I know. So last time I looked, I think they had upwards of, gosh, at least 15 people. And I don't know if they all like regularly train together, but that's just, the more people that you have training, the more experience you get fighting against other people.
Yeah.
And then you have Kelsey Dietrich, who of course is a mythic, and I have to rep the mythics. A lot of fun, a lot of good fights.
Yeah, so Michael Johnson's on the chat. He says he thinks Kelsey wins that one. It's like, well, which Kelsey?
Yeah.
Which Kelsey?
Kelsey's going to get it.
Yeah, Kelsey's going to win.
At the end of the day, one Kelsey will win and one Kelsey will lose.
Yeah, I think after that, someone's got to change your name after that. There can only be one. There can only be one. So, here's what I'll say. I think it's going to be a fun match. However, as much as I'm going to give it to Kelsey Lita. The reason why is because Kelsey L, from Nashville, has had way more recent armor time. Because they've been doing those Nashville Armor Combat, they've been doing their lives. And yes, pro fights are a lot different from what they are doing. So I will say that. Pro fights are similar to what they're doing, but they are different. Because they're just having fun and having, they are having some point system, but it's not the same system. But still applicable though, right?
Right.
Still the same core at its core, still the same thing. They're just trying to be a little bit more loose with the rules.
So the Alicorns recently got a whole, I think 3 fighters got brand new sets of armor, or at least arms and legs.
Right.
And I think Kelsey Lita may have been one of those who got that, which means that she now has arms and legs that fit really well. And if for anybody that's fought a pro fight, having a ill-fitting legs is a real problem. Because unlike in a melee where you can sort of fake it, whenever you are falling on the ground and trying to get back up or trying to defend yourself, turtling up or whatever, not being able to pull your legs up is a real problem. And a lot of female-bodied fighters have this problem where you can't get armor that fits, especially arms and legs, because they're all too long because they're made for people who are taller. It
Yeah.
doesn't matter how skinny or fat you are, it's all too long. So having custom made equipment, really good.
Yeah.
Kelsey Dietrich is using my arms, my titanium arms.
Yeah.
So that may give them an edge. Also my gauntlets.
Yeah, I think Kelsey Dietrich will. I think it's going to be very competitive because even with that, even with Kelsey L's like recent
Mhm.
armor time and a little bit more intensive, recent intensive intensity, picked up the intensity on the training and just because they've been doing those Wednesday night pro fights. I think that you still can't sleep on Kelsey Dietrich because they've
Mhm.
been really active in doing, have way more actual pro fights in this pro fight style, right? But then also,
Yes.
Kelsey Dietrich was at Wandering Sword and really picked like the sword skills were really
Yes.
there, like and performed really well against some of the top duels out there, and really surprised them and pushed some of them, and was really only off by like a small percent. You're talking about a few adjustments and would have beat Julie in a sword and buckler fight. Would have beat
Um,
a couple other people in longsword. So it wasn't really, so it's not like they're totally super behind when it comes to. So I think that Kelsey Dietrich, from a striking standpoint, I think will have an edge. I think it's just that recent armor time and how much they've
well,
been training as far as pro fight style, at least recently, and how comfortable they're going to be in armor is going to be the difference maker.
now also I want to say I believe this is a rematch. I think Kelsey Lita and Kelsey Dietrich had a pro fight
Mm-hmm.
in December of last year in New Orleans.
You know what? I think they did.
And Kelsey Dietrich won.
So they're out for Regis part two.
Part 2.
Part two. So I think, yeah. So if it pulls it out, then they're 1-1. Then they've got to somewhere down the line. They got to have a rubber match. They got to figure it out.
I don't know. I think I got to put my money on Kelsey Dietrich. It's a
Mhm.
mythic. I just can't vote against a mythic.
I don't want to go against. But I think.
Yeah, Cyrus, you're a professional. You have to go with your heart.
I have to go to my heart. I think just because of the dedication to recent training and just being super comfortable in armor, I don't know what Kelsey L's grappling game is, right? Because they don't do a lot of it,
Hmm.
and I've watched a couple of streams, so I don't really see a lot of it. So in the grapple game, I think that Kelsey Dietrich is going to have the advantage, and then a slight advantage when it comes to the striking. However, that continuous intensity for that entire match, I think that's what's going to hurt Kelsey Dietrich. I think when it gets to that later second round, that third round, I think Kelsey L is going to be able to bring it back and make it even real quick. It says Michael Johnson says he said honestly thought Kelsey Dietrich was newer than she is.
So Kelsey Dietrich started fighting in May 2021.
Kelsey L's been on for that long? 2 years, really?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, I guess so. All right, who we got next? What beer do I have next? How about that?
Yeah, what beer do you have next?
Let's see. On the next on the list is Honey, I'm Home. Honey, I Am Home. Belgian style triple. Now, this is what I'm talking about. Honey, I'm Home. Triple with honey collaboration. Collaborated with Bill. It's 9.5% ABVs. I like this. This Belgian style triple with honey is strong, dry, floral, spicy, fruity, and golden. A fun collaboration with our pals with beergrup.com. Colorado ingredients: wildflower, honey, Colorado Clarks of Colorado, yeast from some lab. I can't even pronounce it again. Propagate lab and a grain from root shoot malting.
I gotta join Beer Drop. This sounds fun. This is fun.
I think I paid like $60, $60. Yeah, it's like $60, and I get like 5 different beers every month. They give me 2 of them. It's pretty good. They said I saw it keeps my beer budget in order.
Oh, Michael, when are we rematching our greatsword duel?
Yeah.
Cyrus, you saw that one, right?
Yeah, I saw that. See that.
You saw Mikey totally kick my ass. And he's like, "Oh yeah, this is the first time I've ever picked up a greatsword."
Of course. So
Uh,
Lisa, when are you gonna do the showdown?
next time you're down here, I've got a new kit. I have my Gothic kit. Maybe that'll protect my soft little brains a little better than that my death helmet, which is my 8-pound death helmet.
But you were rocking it for a long time. But hopefully that new one, that new Gothic.
It's a little heavier, so maybe it's a little more, a little bit more protective.
A little bit more protective.
Yeah.
The showdown, but I'm excited for that too. That's gonna be maybe that's on the next pro fight card management. I don't know. We just add that in there.
Oh shit! Can you imagine a greatsword pro fight?
I want to see that. I want to see how that would go. I think that's a long sword and a long match to be trying to whack with that thing. That's just too much. I don't know about that. Let's see. We're gonna skip that one. We're just gonna go to a different one because we're gonna talk about that one last. But this one right here, Austin the Man Mountain Ponticelli versus Logan Ballinger.
So I was looking at this picture earlier, and I was like, "This guy looks so familiar. Where have I seen him before?"
Uh-huh.
Do you remember last year at Rookie Rumble, when there was like all this drama because there was somebody who had been fighting for a while, but then they went to Rookie Rumble and they won?
Ah, yeah.
That was Logan Ballinger.
That was him? Oh, okay.
So, Michael says, I told Logan not to take this fight. So, because I realized that's the same person, I have seen video of him fighting.
Uh-huh.
He is also apparently like a regional commander with the ACW.
Okay.
For one region.
Mm-hmm.
He's okay. He's fine. I'd put him on my team if I had a melee. I don't.
This is not a melee. This is not that.
It takes a real special kind of person to want to fight Ponticelli.
It really does.
A really special kind of person.
Here's what I'm going to say. Logan, if you're watching this, or people who directly know Logan, Michael Johnson seems to know him. I don't know you, man. I don't know you. Here's what I'm going to tell you. If you do not, I have fought Austin. Okay, now that didn't go very well. And I will tell you this, and everybody will tell you this. If you do not come to this fight with your A game, you're going to have a very bad day. I will just tell you that right now. You need to have a plan. I hope you've been watching the film of all his past fights. I hope you figured out what type of weapon you're going to use. You've been training for the last 6 months for this fight, and this is your penultimate fight. Because if you don't, you're gonna be hurt.
So, Austin is a good pro fighter. His grappling game is a little, but he is so big, and he is so strong that honestly, he kind of makes up for all that by just picking you up and eating you.
And now pure force, yeah, pure.
Yeah, I mean, so it looks like Logan outweighs him. Oh no, sorry, 290. Haha, just kidding. Logan does not outweigh him. He is 50 pounds lighter and
6-7 inches shorter.
I've never met Logan. I thought he was taller than that.
Yeah, that's what
but Austin is definitely every inch of 6'6". You know, there's guys who are like, yeah, baby, I'm 6'6".
No, you're not. You're like 6'4", 6'3".
Austin is actually 6'6".
Yeah.
This man can duck under doorways.
I'm definitely going to go with Austin with this is. I've never seen Logan fight other than like I think I like some old clips of his melee stuff. But I assume he's probably a halfway decent grappler. If he did win the Rookie Rumble and he did some other things, I'm sure he's halfway Rookie Rumble. But the problem is that even if you're a great grappler, it's more so getting in and getting out, and then being an effective striker, and then being able to get away from those, and not being able to pay for those power shots, right?
Yes.
And those are what's really going to get you. It's not really everything else. The intensity of those strikes are going to hurt, but it's those powerful. I don't know what they're fighting with. I think they're going sword shield, sword board with that. I assume, and then it's going to be those powerful shield punches he's going to hit you with, and then if he doesn't get you with that, he's going to kick you. And those kicks hurt. I can tell you that now. So, like I said, if Logan does not come with his
axe, it's an axe fight. Logan, why did you decide to do an axe fight? That was stupid.
Yeah, I hope that's just that's just Michael saying that, and that they're not really fighting with axes. That is not.
And so, like, here's the deal.
Yeah.
What's the last at the Wandering Sword, the Duels Cup, when Austin fought Polearm?
Yep.
How many polearms did he break?
He broke three or four.
He broke 2 of them that his opponent was using.
Yep.
He broke 1 of his own. Oh, so he broke 2 from that. Who's that guy from Mexico? And that guy ended up winning.
No, that wasn't the guy from Mexico. That was the guy from California. That was one of the guys from California.
Okay. So that was 2. Just a second. Okay. That was 2. He broke 2 of that guy's polearms. He broke Charlie's polearm, and then he broke his own.
So yeah.
Oh, Logan wanted an axe fight with him. You know, this guy's got balls. That's good. That's the thing that you want. You want somebody who's passionate. How good is his armor?
Yeah. So
how good are his gauntlets?
So Zale's who he lost to in the Zale.
That's right.
He wants the axe fight. I think that would even it up a little bit. The problem is that yes, Austin's going to swing, so you're going to be able to probably score up on if you're going to swing for pure strikes. He might be able to outstrike him. The problem is everything else, right? Because he's going to get you in the corner and he's going to pound you. I mean, with fists, kicks, and knees, just like he did Simon.
Yeah.
When they profile, and he's just going to do that to you. So you might outstrike him, but he's going to push through any of those any strike that you just deliver. It's just going to happen. He's going to push through. And if you make it to the end and you're still standing, then you might have a chance of being by pure line points and strikes, but everything else is not going to happen.
You know, and I think kind of your only saving grace is that when Austin throws somebody to the ground, he still doesn't have the instinct to immediately follow up and pound you into mush. Because if he did do that, he could crush your ribs.
Yeah. I am fully aware that he fell on me.
Yeah.
No, that is not. That did not feel good.
Yeah, Logan, I wish you a lot of luck. Austin, you're gonna do fine.
Yeah.
You're gonna do just fine.
He's got some things to work out. I'm sure he's probably got some aggression, and he's probably something he wants to be like. You know what? I feel like hitting somebody today. Let's talk about this one. This is actually an axe fight too.
Okay.
But before we talk about that, let's move on to the next beer. Which one is this one? We're talking about the Base Camp Lager beer. Which that's cherry. Sprinkle. I think they gave me the wrong ones. Oh no, here it is. They just don't have a label on it. They just have a cool label on it. The Base Camp Lager beer. Dry hopped pale lager flavors with tropical peach and melon.
Yes.
Catskill Mountains, New York. Yeah, and it is 6% ABVs. They don't have really much about this. It's from Upward Brewing in Catskill, New York. Lager. Let's be a standard lager, so not too much beer. But that's what we're going to be drinking soon. I don't know what day we're going to drink it. Yeah. But yes. So let's talk about this one. Dax Moore. Yes, he is from HEMA. I'll tell you guys a story about that versus Charlie, the Face Tank, Barbecue Batman, Brumfield. This is going to be a very interesting fight.
So, Dax, before Dax ever tried armor, I went to a couple of. I've seen him fight HEMA
Yep.
And I've heard a lot of people talk about him fighting Hema.
Mhm.
So Dax loves to work out. Big fitness guy, very strong.
Yep.
Uh, also big. He's,
Yep.
6'3". He's in great shape. When he first started fighting Hema at Warlord, he kept yeeting people. People would get off balance. The Hema people would get off balance, and then he would just throw them into the bleachers. And then he kept doing that over and over and over and over again. And then he started getting really good at sword work.
Yeah.
And then he started beating people. So he got silver at a very prestigious Hema tournament. He's apparently very, very good at sword work.
Yeah.
Very good at taking advantage of people who fuck up a little bit.
Yeah.
But Cyrus, you've seen him fighting in armor.
I have seen him fighting in armor. I've been slowly, probably for like the last better part of like the 6 months or so, trying to like lure Dax over to like armor combat. He's like, I've seen him. He's big. He's strong. He's like, I see him having fun with it, but then I see him getting a little bit bored with it. He had a few fears and concerns about armor combat because he sees us going at it in practice. Some things that he's
people, such hurtful stereotypes.
Yeah, he's seen us get mean. I was like, yeah, but what we do, we got big blows, but you guys be stabbing each other. Like, I don't know, stab someone. I'm gonna do that. But how did I convince Dax to do armor combat? So I convinced, like, one day, I think half the team, half the Mythics were out doing an event, and bunch of some of the guys from Warlords were like out in Mexico, and then we had like Harsh Vectins and Hina people, and then like some leftover Warlords who didn't travel, kind of doing like this joint, cross pollination training thing together. And I was there, kind of doing some grappling with the Harsh Vectin guys, to kind of show them some things. And Kit, and I finally convinced Dak to throw on some armor. I was like, just come on, do some. If there's nobody here, it's low pressure. Just throw on some armor. He finally threw on some armor. We started doing some duels, and he's like, so I said, number one, no stabbing. Later, he did stab me. He still stabbed me. He still owed me beer for stabbing me directly in the eye. I was bleeding for a good while. We'll get to that, but I forgive you. But he liked it, and the continuous fighting. And not this 1 point stop and then it's over type stuff. He actually liked it. And slowly he's been convinced to do it. So he's been doing, singles, and he's been doing pro fight classes in Kit and out at South Kit. So he's been coming to classes and coming to things like that. Now, someone convinced him to decide, and this has only been like a month. So it hasn't been long. It's like at most a month and a half, maybe months. So someone, when he finally made the jump over officially, they're like, "Oh, there's a pro fight. Are you want a pro fight?" And somehow Charlie convinced him to do an axe fight.
Yes.
The axe fight in his first pro fight ever. And Dax decided to accept. And I said, "Dax, why did you do this? Why did you decide to fight Charlie in an axe fight?" He's like, "Oh, well, I thought I kind of figured."
Is it two-handed axe?
Yeah, two-handed axes, two-handed weapon axes.
The one weapon that Dax doesn't have very much experience with. I assume I've never seen him fight with an axe.
Well,
they all do longsword.
They all do longsword, and we kind of went over it. Some of it is translatable to a two-handed axe. Some things.
Yeah.
So we kind of went over that part of it. We've been focusing on his training with that part of it. Dax wanted to get into some grappling things, and I said, "Okay, well, let's grapple." And because he assumed that he was in Hema, he is a strong wrestler type person in that.
Dax is on the Hema scale. Dax is an extremely good grappler.
Extremely high level. And and then he realized after we went some rounds, and then he came to some armor practices, that he is on a very low totem pole when it comes to grappling and armor combat.
Yeah.
Very low. So I said, we'll focus on some things. I said, here's the thing. Here's the advantage Dax will have against Charlie. One, he's got that footwork, and he has cardio, and he has speed. I said, if you can use those things to wear Charlie out, cardio-wise, you could probably win. I'm not even going to say you're going to win. You're going to survive. I shouldn't even say that.
Yeah. I think
It'll be fine. It won't be like a long hurt.
Dax is gonna be fine.
It'll be fine.
Dax is gonna be fine.
The problem will be is if Charlie gets his hands on him.
Yes, Charlie will yeet him.
Will eat you, and he will throw him.
Yes.
And yes, Michael. Longsword is the best, and maybe you can come down and pro fight Dax once he learns how to not stab people with longsword. And you come down and
do you have a picture hanging around of your face that you sent in the chat of after you got stabbed in the eye?
No, I don't have it. I think I tossed it on my Facebook somewhere. I was like, stab me in the eye. But yes, but Charlie's going to grab him or cuddle him, however you want to say.
Yeah.
Charlie's been working on, he's been working on his two-handed strike. So he did one on sword. He got third with that. He's been competing for a while with trying to learn how to grapple and improve his grappling in his two-handed strikes because he's trying to do more things in melee with it. So he's gonna have fun with this. Charlie's not the best with cardio, so how long he'll make it to the end of the pro fight, but how tired he'll be by the time the end of that, will he actually because I think in his last axe pro fight, that last round he never really swung the axe. Really.
Now he was doing. I still feel this way about Charlie's last pro fight. He was dedicated to the two-handed axe game, even when his opponent dropped the two-handed axe and was on the one-handed axe game. And I think that it just wasn't the right. It didn't turn out well.
Oh, that's right. He switched weapons. That's right.
Mm-hmm. His opponent switched weapons, but Charlie stuck to that two-handed axe, and I think the dynamic just didn't work out. I'm of the opinion that you should always have a shield, always, forever, because I am a shield lover, or a buckler or something. But it's possible to win two-handed axe versus one-handed axe. It's just he didn't.
Yeah.
I wonder, because I think that Dax is going to make this mistake that a lot of people make in their first pro fight. And Liam's probably going to make this mistake too. He's going to push as hard as he can in that first half of the first round.
Yeah.
And then he's going to be complete spaghetti.
Yeah.
He's going to have noodle arms. He's going to be like, blah. Yeah, Dax can. You don't have to match weapons. Dax can switch up his weapon too.
Yeah.
Should he do longsword? No, first off, there's no such thing as a pro fight legal longsword, at least not the pro fight rules we're using. Also, longsword is trash.
It's not great. Although I think there's one person who can make a pro fight with a long. There's literally two people that can make a longsword pro fight exciting, and that is Austin and Spencer Mario. They're the two people who can make it entertaining for the entire.
Michael can make a longsword pro fight exciting. He can do that for sure.
I disagree because you did a longsword pro fight with Justin last year, and it was kind of boring.
Well, it was very much it was very duelsy. It was a very duelsy pro fight.
Yeah, they didn't swing. I think Justin threw one kick and a punch, and then I think Michael threw one, and that was about it.
I think Dax is going to gas out. I think he's going to go too hard, and then he's going to start making mistakes, and Charlie's going to take advantage of it. Charlie has so much experience.
Yeah, I think I agree with you. I told Dax, I said, try not to make this mistake, but it's going to happen.
Yeah, it just happens to everybody.
Yeah, get aware. I said, there's a situation where you'll get in, and then Charlie's going to be aware of, and that you need to fight. I told him, you need to fight from the center. This is something that even Brett would kind of push me to do. Fight from the center of the ring, not the outside.
Yes.
Because what's going to happen is that Charlie's going to press you into a corner, and then he's going to get his hands on you, and that's Charlie's happy place.
Yep.
He's going to know how to put you down, and then you're going to need to immediately recognize that and get out of it.
And he's gonna try to light you up with some shots.
Oh, he's going to try to light you up with it. Yeah.
Charlie's got some pretty good form. I don't know that he hits it all the time consistently, but when he hits it, it hits. It hurts. I've seen people that he hits go, bleh.
Yeah. So
Charlie fights Austin a lot.
Yeah, he does fight Austin though. So I'm definitely going to give this fight to Charlie. Much as I love Dax, I think that Dax is too green.
Yeah.
I think it's some of his workout attributes will help him. But I think if Charlie's able to get it once Charlie gets his hands on him and he goes down, there's not going to be a way, especially if he capitalizes the right way. There's not much Dax can do to make up the points. I mean, unless he's just really just striking him from a distance, and then Charlie just never can do it. But Charlie's going to close. He's going to figure that out and be like, all right, I'm going to rush you down, and take you down.
I think it's going to be a fun fight to watch, and I think it's going to be a good start for Dax.
Yeah.
And I don't think Dax is going to back down. I think he's going to take that and turn around and give us a really good pro fight next time too.
I think he will, because he had his what I said, he was blooded. I guess we want to say he was blooded by Austin, literally.
Yeah.
Both literally and figuratively. He got. I think one time we were doing some sparring rounds, and I was like, "Well, you're gonna do a pro fight. I need you to kind of understand how that's gonna happen." So yes. He did like a couple rounds with Austin, and they did like a longsword round, and they just went with a longsword. I said, Austin, hey, just let him have it.
Yeah.
And they did that. He actually survived that. He was okay with that. And then they switched to Sword and Shield and just kind of did some sword and board. And Austin didn't even really go like full Austin with that. He just he actually did taper it down a lot, but Dax still got a good one right on the chin and went down like a sack of potatoes. Again,
there's like two kinds of people.
Yeah.
And you're already looking at the pool of people who fight in armor. So you're already looking at complete idiots.
Yeah.
Who like to get hit and to hit other people.
That's true.
And there's two kind of, out of those people, once you hit a pro fight, there are the people who do a pro fight, they go down with a knee in the chest, and they're like, you know what? I do dumb shit, and I know that this is dumb.
Yeah.
And then there are people who do it, they take their licks, and then they're like, wow, this is fun. I'm going to do this again.
All right. Do it again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think Dax is the second.
Yeah. It's like you're that 4-year-old gets tossed by your dad or something like that, and you just gets tossed, and you just feel like you're just like, do it again, that was awesome.
Yeah.
Do it again. That's great. Let's talk about the next one. I think that's it. I think we're gonna go talk about the main event. Before we do that, though, we're gonna talk about Cherry Pie Boom Boom. Now this one they gave me 32 ounces. This is a big giant.
Holy
2-ounce
whoa.
Cherry Pie Boom Boom. 5.2% ABVs. Cherry Pie Boom Boom is an essence of cherry red ale, black cherry paired with malts of red and a head of base. Oh, sit back, hold on. It's a bunch of promo stuff. But 5.2% red ale. So this is going to be a big giant thing. I don't know. I'm going to have to split this with somebody, or I'm going to be like, right after my own pro fight, my next pro fight, whenever that is, I'll just chug this right after, and I'll be like, oh, energy restored. Let's talk about the main event. This is going to be a good one. This is going to be a really fun and really good match.
Oh, yeah.
Adam Harrigan versus Mickey Gallus. At least I'll let you break it down first.
Well, anybody who's fought in armor in the U.S. in the past 2 years has seen Mickey fighting. So Mickey, the founder of Nashville Armored Combat, also a common pro fighter. I mean, he really shows up, shows out.
Yeah.
And then Adam Harrigan, who every time somebody sees him fight, oh my gosh.
Yeah, he's really fun to watch. Yeah.
Yes, they're both really fun to watch. Adam's so much stronger. Mickey, I think you're really strong. Adam works out like a crazy person. He's a personal trainer as well. He's the fitness instructor at Warlord. And the man eats, sleeps, and dreams better ways to fight. He is constantly leaning all of his mental energy on how he's gonna fight better.
Yeah.
But Mickey, the way he moves, I love watching Mickey fight.
Yeah. I think
I don't know, Cyrus. What do you think?
I think they're both brawlers, right? But different, right?
Yes.
So Mickey's more of a is a brawler. Adam's also a brawler, but Adam's more of a tactical brawler, and Mickey's more of a I want to say a little bit more graceful brawler. So he brawls, but it's very like flow, boom, boom, boom. He's got this natural flow, boom, 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 boom. And he comes in with a big move, backs away, kind of rounds, mixes rounds. Adam's more like, I see a target, I'm going after that target, I'm gonna punish that specific part of you, and I'm gonna come out. And I'm gonna do it again, I'm gonna move somewhere else, and I'm gonna move different quadrants of your body and make you pay. Right?
Well, something I think that we can't ignore is that Mickey had heart surgery.
Yes.
When was his last surgery?
I want to say it was probably like 2 months ago, probably like late June, I do believe.
I think it was pretty soon. Now, Mickey, I will admit, when I first saw Mickey saying he had his first heart surgery, I was like, there it goes. He's like, well, I won't be back for a few months. And I was like, this guy's not coming back.
Yeah.
No, he's had multiple heart surgeries and he just comes back. He works so hard.
Now, he's been putting out his return to workout promo, videos. I know he's gone in. He's finally come back to doing some stuff in Nashville and kind of done some things.
Yeah.
So I know he's medically cleared. I think he just got medically cleared to fight for this fight. So.
And as Michael said, so National Armored Combat just recently started offering judo classes.
Okay.
So he's been brushing up on his grappling.
Yeah.
And as everybody knows, judo is the best martial art for Buhurt.
Yeah, I think this is gonna be a good fight for Adam. I mean, Adam's been really pretty much destroying everybody in this category so far.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he hasn't.
Hell, he's been fighting up.
He's been fighting up. He's been fighting up too. I think I haven't seen anyone challenge him really. Everyone even people he's fought up weight towards, like I think last person fought was like 200, 6'1", and he's working pretty good. So it wasn't even really a challenge for him. And he's fought a vast number of people. He's been pretty dominant. I think this is the next best fight that a person who could challenge him. I think outside of this is going to be, some of those upper echelon. I would like to see him fight, after this, to fight Johnny and a couple other people that are in his weight class.
That's what I want to see.
There's a couple people out there that he can still fight, but this will be a true test, not just for Adam, but also for Mickey as well. How well, Mickey's been, doing his basic training as he returned to form, or he's gone beyond what he was capable of us, a year or two ago when he lost fight. When he did Pro Fights Latin, when he did, was it 2020? He did the Pro Fight tournament in his weight class. I think he won most of that.
Yeah, I think that was it.
Yeah, I think it was last time he was at Pro Fights. So I think this is gonna be a good one. If I have to give it to somebody, I'm gonna still give it to Adam.
Yeah.
I think Mickey is still. I think it's going to come down to the grapple game, and it's going to come down to the clinch fighting. And I think Adam's just too experienced with fighting in the clinch, and I think that's where it's going to be a difference. I don't think it's going to come down to strikes because they're both going to just hammer each other.
Yeah.
It's going to come down to the clinch and the grapple, and who can score points effectively in the clinch, and who can make quick takedowns. And I think it's going to be Adam, because he has way more experience, and then still being able to make those decisions and make those quick strikes when they're down on the ground. I think
there's nothing there's nothing quite like fighting Adam. Adam puts a consistent pressure. He has great sword work because of he's been doing sword work. I know it says 3 years here. He's been fighting. He did LARP for years and years and years. Extremely good. I know a lot of people will laugh and say, LARP fighting. We got some pretty good duelists out of LARP. And he's got the chops to prove it.
Yeah.
He's a lefty.
Michael Johnson said that either one of them would kick his ass in the warm up. Probably not wrong. But Plus, Adam jumped in like last minute for Longsword at the Longsword, like super last minute because he wanted to fight the guy from Mexico. He wanted to fight like a couple of people. He put on a good show.
Yep.
And so it was really one of those things. So, that's it, guys, for the Pro Fight card. We're going to talk about a couple other things, but I think that this card is going to be really exciting. I don't know when we'll do another one because we've got a lot of things on the horizon that are coming up. So I don't know. But also, it's been really difficult. I think a lot of people were asking why haven't we done any, sooner. Honestly, it's been, Pro Fight season. It's been good because a lot of things have been going on as far as Goer is concerned, but at the same time, inflation and just price of travel and cost of travel has just really gone up dramatically. And then just not being able to consistently do anything. And I think everybody lost their mojo just because of, the championship of the council again, that was the thing. Then inflation and all, just the way the world is right now. I think it just became a difficult thing. So last beer we'll talk about before we go into the Booger news is the Dry Hop Amber. Dry Hop Amber Ale from Dry Hopped Amber Ale. American Amber Ale, ale dry hopped with loads of malty and playful bright seeds. It's 5.2% from Finkel and Garth Brewing Company in Colorado. Boulder, Colorado. Delicious beer. When am I going to drink this beer? I don't know. You probably won't see me drink them. I don't know. I may put them on the show. Maybe I won't. I don't know. I'm just still deciding.
You can't tease your fans like that, Cyrus.
All right. But yeah. So what's in the news? At least we've got a lot of things in Booger related. There's a lot of news stuff that's coming up right now. So we've got the Pro Fights next week.
Mm-hmm.
Then
news. The Mercia Cup. Is that not news?
Yeah, that is news. That actually is good news. So the Mercia Cup was like what was yesterday and today, right?
Yes.
And there was a collected team from the U.S. that went.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's also one Australian on there, technically sort of two. But we're gonna claim Colin for us.
Is Jake Taylor not also? Jake Taylor is Australian, isn't he?
Yeah, Jake Taylor's Australian. That's what I meant by him. He's like.
Is he not the technical Australian? He's actually Australian.
Yeah, he's actually Australian, but I was gonna say Colin is like the kind of sort of very clean. So we had Brett, Brennan, Danielle, Joseph Brandt, Johnny Porter, Jake Taylor, Colin, and then there was one other person.
Is that not 8?
Is that not 8? Maybe that was 8. There's one person. Maybe I did hit 8. But yeah, that's what they were. They faced White Company, a couple other teams, and they went in there. And I watched a couple of the clips. I didn't get to watch all of it because I was kind of asleep at the time and then kind of busy later. But I did watch some of the recap clips. They just rolled through. Now apparently, the White Company, it wasn't their A lineup. Apparently, it was some of their people. But still, that's I'm sure those newer fighters were probably still trained. They put them through, I think, a lot to train. So I don't think they just stepped to the Mercy Cup and just okay, guys, do the thing. I'm sure they would probably come to any tournament here and probably still do very well, even here. I'm sure. So that was big news. The Mercy Cup, the Team Dominus is going in and it's reestablishing the dominance, I guess, in the North America and the U.S. that, hey, there's some good fighters here.
Mm-hmm.
And then the Pro Fights, they did the Pro Fights today, and apparently Johnny Porter destroyed a bunch of people. Colin
Campbell, yeah.
I didn't get. I need to watch it later, but apparently Colin and Dan Hornbuckle got the fight, so I didn't get to see that one. I got to try to find the clip.
That would be a fight.
Yeah, apparently it was a fight. I think what happened was that once again, Born Hornbuckle's not caught up yet when it comes to sword strikes. So apparently that's what it came down to. Which I'm sure eventually he's going to get. I know he's been working with a couple of people here and off and on with that. So it's only a matter of time. So there's that. We have then August 5th Pro Cups, August 5th Pro Fight cards, right? That's August 5th. And then a couple of weeks, and then we also, the day after that, we have Phoenix Camp. Did you want to talk about Phoenix Camp?
Yeah, Phoenix Camp. That's actually this upcoming weekend.
Yeah, that's right.
So
The day after pro fights. Yeah.
the pro fights, and then Phoenix Camp, that's Saturday and Sunday. Uh, gosh, I don't know how many fighters we've got coming up, but it's gonna be it's looking like it's gonna be a lot of fun. Phoenix Camp last year, it was just a great experience. We got to have so many fighters come in, and there was a lot of exchange of information.
Yeah.
Dan Hornbuckle is going to be instructing this year.
Yeah.
So Dan and Brett, I'm really excited to see all the fighters that we've got coming in.
Yeah. Michael also asked if Brett did any pro fights. No, Brett didn't do any pro fights. I think that I'm kind of surprised that he didn't. However, at the same time, Brett's in this notion where he's at the similar level of Craig, where he wants to know who he's fighting, but also it needs to be worth his while as well. He doesn't want to just fight somebody and destroy him. I think he's kind of at that level where being a little bit more selective. If somebody challenges him that he's not aware of, he will accept it, but they're just kind of, he's waiting for people to season a little bit before he starts wrecking through some people.
I think Brett's waiting for fights that he thinks will be a lot of fun. Like you said, worth his while.
Yeah.
And whenever it does happen, you know, it's gonna sort of pull the rug out from under him.
So I'm pretty sure he looked at who was fighting at that and was like, maybe I want to fight him, maybe I don't. I'm sure he's already fought. I think he's fought Hornbuckle before. I'm kind of surprised he didn't want to fight Colin. Well, since he hasn't, I don't think he's fought Colin anymore.
Well, Colin did heavyweight, but Brett's a super heavyweight.
No, I think it was the other way around. I think Colin fought super heavyweight in front.
No, Colin won heavyweight.
Okay.
That's what I read, that Colin won heavyweight.
Heavyweight.
Although Colin heavyweight caps out at 208.
Yeah, there's no way that Colin's 208. He's got.
Yeah, no, Colin's heavier.
Yeah, so we'll see. But
there are
people there that I know Brett wants to fight, so I'm sure he would fight Colin at some point. He would want, probably just not in that kind of atmosphere, I'm sure. And I'm sure I know he wants to fight Johnny at some point. He's already fought Hornbuckle, and I'm sure anybody else that was there probably. I know he wants to fight with Brett at some point, but I don't think in that format he wanted to fight him. I think not in the tournament style of fight.
So apparently they only had 2 weight categories. They combined light and middle and heavy and super.
So that makes sense why he probably didn't.
Okay.
Yeah. That makes sense why he probably didn't. What else? Oh, then we have your return to form, Dragon Con, the Dragon Con.
Yeah.
The return. That's going to be your first official thing back, right?
Yep, that'll be my first tournament back. I don't know how it's going to go. We'll see. I had to order a new soft kit because my body is not shaped the same way as it was before. I can kind of squeeze in to a Gambison, but I can't close it. So I have a new Gambison. I'm pointing it tomorrow.
Yeah.
And then we'll see what happens. I'm excited.
I'm excited to see it because I signed up for Sword and Shield. I'm gonna have fun this time. I'm not gonna be all super serious about it. But I've been working on some new just showy moves just because for the hell of it, just because I want to. And I'm gonna go a little more crazy with it. I've got my shield, which I posted on there. I've got some other stuff I'm gonna put on.
Oh, that shield looks awesome. That's amazing. Laura did an amazing job on that.
So if you guys got shields, get a shield made by Brett and then get it painted by Laura. She does great work. Definitely gonna do that. I don't know how many teams are signed up for, how many teams they're going to be. Well, I think last year was 6 teams for melees, and wasn't it 3 teams for the women's melees? Was it 3 teams for women's melees?
So I think we're only going to have 2 teams for women's melees this year. We only had 2 teams last year. We were talking about doing 2 teams this year, but it ended up we had sort of an odd number. So I think there's 17 or 18 fighters.
Yeah.
So you kind of don't want to, for a full roster, of course, for 3 teams, it'd be 24 fighters. So I think we ended up saying that we would do 2 teams, and I think it's kind of up in the air right now whether we're gonna, because Larry wants us to make a good show, right?
Right.
So if you get if you only have two teams and one team is better than the other and they win consistently, he said that's not really a good show.
Yeah.
So we have gone back and forth about whether we're going to keep the teams together throughout the whole thing, or if we're gonna switch fighters in between them to make them more evenly matched.
Yeah.
I think right now where we ended up is that we're gonna keep the teams together, and so the Mythics will fight the Alicorns with Mercs.
Okay. That makes sense.
Yeah.
And then
I'm gonna be doing. I'm doing duels.
Or duels. Just duels.
I'm doing duels. I'm doing sword and buckler and longsword, which we'll see what happens.
I think it'll be alright, Lacey. You just shake the rust off. We were hey, I wish you'd be like, oh well, we can bring it back to that full circle and you can do a pro fight, but I don't think you're ready for that.
Well, I think we were ending up in sort of a bad position also because in the lightweight category there weren't that many. I think we only had 2 Alicorns signed up for pro fights, and like all the Mythics were like, yeah, we want to do pro fights too. And Larry's like, well, there's not really any room for you to be in for pro fights. Little does he know, I am now 162 pounds, which is 6 pounds over so I'm now a heavyweight.
Yeah, Larry, you hear that? Heavyweight.
I'm now a heavyweight, so.
Would you if like that if you called your car and said, hey, you want to take a last minute pro fight like you did last year? You're gonna
Oh yeah. I want a pro fight so bad. Yeah, I want a pro fight so bad.
Yeah, you weren't even supposed to do that one, but you did it.
Oh, the one against Genevieve? Yeah, that was it was just a last minute thing.
Yeah.
That was so fun.
Yeah, so I'm excited to see you guys see the Mythics fight. I'm gonna be with the Knights of Wakanda, of course. We've got a squad. I think it's gonna be. I think right now we have 6 or 7. It's myself, Spencer, aka Soto Bushuko, Dax. Dax is coming.
Dax is coming. What?
I convinced him finally, and his wife gave him the thumbs up.
His wife gave him permission.
I said, if you're gonna do a melee, and you want to be like a showy one, and like a relatively like not like super hot one, Dragon Con's gonna do one. Nobody's gonna get like super hit really well. It's not gonna be too bad. Then it's gonna be Howard Longus, and then Charles Harris, allegedly.
Hey Cyrus, is Charles gonna come?
I think you have to ask Charles if Charles is.
So Charles is driving up there, right?
I do believe he's driving with his dad, yeah.
So his dad's coming.
So I think
do they have a room that they paid for?
They are staying. No, that's a good question. I think Charles is supposed to stay with us at the Airbnb.
Okay.
And then last but not least, Dylan Sweeney from California. So
great.
So Dylan Sweeney. So we're gonna have a good squad. Yeah. Oh, and also, I'm sorry. That's 6. Greg Fisher is gonna be fighting us. He's gonna be our White Wolf. He's gonna be fighting with us. So that gives
that's pretty fun.
So that's 7. So last year we did it with 6. This year we get 1 extra one with Greg fighting with us. So that's gonna be great.
And remind me again, who won the melees last year at Dragon Con? The men's melees.
Oh yeah.
What team was that?
If I recall, I think the Knights of Wakanda won last year. If I'm not too, I definitely think we did. El Capitan. So
wow.
We're coming to defend it. Challenge you. Challenge the teams. I don't even know what teams are going to be there or not going to be there. I really don't. I have no idea. I don't even think Larry's like. I think Larry's like waiting till like the couple days before, like
to assign teams. Yeah. You guys, can I just say, especially I think the last fight that you had, that one that went on forever.
It did. I was super tired. I was like, oh.
Yeah. Well,
you get like
all the Knights of Wakanda were super tired. You guys were obviously hanging on by a thread, and you were like, actually, no. Wait, fuck this. I'm going to win. We're going to win.
We're going to win. And that was not the plan. It really was like, hey, guys, let's have some fun. Let's Knights of Wakanda. The goal was, let's win one match. Well, I came up with like a general game plan of something. I replicated some things that we did in Warlords and like some very basic things. I was like, other than that, let's win one match. And then after that, let's just wing it. Let's see how it goes. We win again. There's a break. There's like a really close match, an intense match with Kinyas, and then there's like another really intense match. And they're like, we won? Oh, yeah, sweet. Sweet, we win. All right, great. Now we got to come back to defend it. Oh yeah, okay, well let's do it. I'm hoping that we win. I hope we do really well. Unfortunately, like this might be my last one for a while, more than likely my last. So I would like to. Hopefully, we do well. That's what I'm going to do. Go and do it. Do all the things. I probably won't be able to go next year, and the one following that, it really depends. So I'm hoping we're gonna have fun with it. We're gonna have fun, and I'm gonna have some fun, and we're gonna at Dragon Con.
Cyrus, you can't not go to Dragon Con.
Yeah, I know it's kind of a thing now, but I got some things on the horizon where I gotta. Dragon Con's so expensive, so expensive, and then also and then it's expensive, and then it's the temptation to like buy a bunch of stuff.
Yeah,
there's that.
Man, Boohert's expensive.
Yeah,
especially with travel costs going up.
Yeah.
So upcoming also the California Classic. Boohert League tournament, yeah. September 17th.
September 17th. We'll make this special call, and hopefully people will see this. It's because I talked to him the other day, right before he went out to the Mercia Cup.
Mm-hmm.
Brett doesn't have a challenger for Dragon Con. He was going to fight someone. They ended up having to drop out. He was going to have to try. He was going to also fight. He's going to go back and fight Josh Fires again, but Josh Fires ended up not being able to go. And then Brett was kind of like not sure if he wanted to fight him again. Then Jimmy Shock was going to be his opponent, but Jimmy Shock was supposed to fight Spencer. But then Jimmy Shock ended up not being able to come. Spencer's still going, but Spencer...
Yeah, but Brett's already fought Spencer.
Brett already fought Spencer, and Spencer wanted to train a little bit more before he challenged Brett again. So he's not really interested in taking it at this point in time, but he does want to fight him, so it's not that. But it's what right now. So if there's anybody out there who wants to put the boots to Brett and thinks you can, he's looking for a fight. I know Larry's trying to find him one.
Man, that fight he had against Josh Fries last year.
Super intense.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Do you remember?
There's some highlights in there and super intense, but there's some differences.
Yeah. Do you remember when he got Josh? It looked like he threw him in the air and then slammed him in the ground, and you could see his spirit leaving his body. Like you could see the dust rising into the air.
Yeah,
it was really dramatic.
But I get a drop. Before that last round that he did that, the second round, Josh put him on the ground.
Yes, and Josh, that was a great fight. That was a great fight.
Those shots that he was firing off were really intense, real hard.
Yes.
And Josh put Brett on the ground.
Yes.
I had never seen.
I had also never seen Brett get thrown before in my entire life.
I saw like a past video when Craig did it, but ever since then, he's never been put on the ground. So I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
But Josh is in the business.
If anybody, so like I know the cameras were all on the ring at that point, but there was like a staging area where people were on deck.
Yeah.
And that fight against Josh, Brett and Josh, was like the last fight of the evening or one of the last ones.
Every fighter was out there.
Yeah. So everybody was standing room only, and we're all sitting there, and every time somebody hit a really good shot, we'd be like, oh!
And people got real quiet.
Yes.
Oh, that was great.
We were all on our tiptoes, like, God, that was a fight. I want to see somebody else fight like that against Brett.
I want to see that. And Brett wants it. I'm pretty sure Brett wants it too. I think there's only like, if I had to put it out there, probably like only a handful of candidates like out there that I'm aware of that probably could give him a good challenge. But also I know there's a couple opponents that Brett wants to fight again, but need a little bit more seasoning and a little bit of training that will definitely give him the next go around. Will be him a challenge, so we'll see. Then you were talking about, you're talking about the California Classic. That's September 17th.
Yes, September 17th.
I know that most of the War Pigs are going to be in that. I will assume that Ordo will be there again. I don't know if Cerberus is going to be there for this time. And I don't know. Ursus will probably pull a team because they've got a newer, younger team coming out.
Yeah.
So I'm sure Ursus will be there. I don't think there's going to be a Nevada team though. I'm sure the Golden Knights will be out there because they're out in California now. They've got a new team. The Golden Knights now in LA, so they'll probably be there. But I don't think there'll be a Death Dealers or Wolves team or anything like that this year. I don't think so. Because I know those teams are rebuilding as well.
Well, and something that another event that we didn't bring up yet, and I don't know how, Valhalla,
Oh,
which
I forget about that. Yeah.
Valhalla is up in the Northeast. That's huge. That is
Yeah.
a huge event. A huge success last year.
Yeah. Those were a success like that. I didn't go last year. I don't know. It's in
That's because I can't afford to fly to New Hampshire, just like I can't afford to fly to Fresno.
Yeah, I can't remember there, but also it didn't appeal to me, I guess.
Well, so it was billed as a huge like frat party,
Yeah,
like a giant
yeah.
5-day long battle extravaganza.
That's a concert, all this other stuff. That didn't really appeal to me. And then then I feel like then I see the videos they're doing pro fights and melees, and I'm like, oh, well, they just told me that I would just came out there for that and then left.
Yeah. But apparently it was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
People all over went to that.
Yeah.
So I think the Knights Hall is hosting that.
Yeah.
And it just it looked like a lot of fun. After I saw that last one and I couldn't fight, I don't remember why I couldn't go last year. And I was like, I'm definitely going to go this year. And then immediately got pregnant and then had a baby. And that's where all my money went. So sorry, guys. You're going to have to hold all of your events in Dallas, Texas.
Yeah.
Or Oklahoma.
Yeah, but NAS, they probably won't be last, but it's the only like big thing that we'll talk about. Axnax will be bigger and better than ever this time because not only will be way more teams this year, but we're going to get Canadian teams again, and we're going to get some Mexico team apparently.
Well, and that's great, especially because we had fighters going down to Mexico for their last tournament. And I guess we shook some babies and kissed some hands, and we talked him into bringing somebody to Axnax. That will be really fun. A real international tournament in the U.S. is something we really haven't seen.
Yeah, it's gonna be Boo
sorry. We did get Canada last year.
Yeah, we did get Canada last year. I think this time though, I think it's going to be Boo Hurt League points or something like that. I think it's going to be Boo Hurt League. I think that's what they're trying to work out.
They're trying to work out the Boo Hurt League, but it is going to be H&B rules.
H&B rules to shine.
Yeah,
it's going to be great. And then there's going to be duels there. Duels are going to be ACS rules, IMCF rules. But I think that's going to be great. I think there's going to be a lot of. I don't know how many duels will actually show up this year, but usually it's a championship, so you get a decent amount. Are you gonna do melees, or what are you gonna do? Are you gonna do some duels? What are you thinking, for example?
Well, definitely melees. Although we're gonna have to see because we have a lot of mythics that want to go, but we'll have to figure it out. We can only bring 8. I assume we're doing 5s.
Yeah, 5s.
We can only bring 8 people.
We can only bring 8 people for melees, but I still think that you should still bring more people because the overall points still count towards the winner. So even let's say you or some of the others don't make it, but still want to do duels. I still believe that everybody should still go and still do duels.
I think we're gonna have to have a team discussion about the best, because like the mythics as a whole always work like that as a team. So we're going to say, hey, who wants to do duels? Who wants to do pro fights? Who wants to do melees? Yeah. And then we'll talk amongst ourselves. So you wouldn't want every single mythic to do longsword.
Right.
So we'd see it'd be a talk about who wants to do things and what are they best at. And then I assume that, and of course, sorry, there's no like controlling hive mind out there that says that if you want to do sword and shield, but you're not that good at sword and shield, that you're not allowed to fight sword and shield. Like it's not like that, but we do try to strategize as a team.
Yeah. No, absolutely. I think it's good. This will be great for you guys. I think there's going to be 2 other women's teams there allegedly right now.
Allegedly.
We'll see how that ends up working out. But I do believe there's supposed to be 2 other women's teams there. I hope that kind of consistent. I think the problem with the women's division right now is not that it's an armor issue. It's not even really a travel issue. It's an armor issue, right? It's because I know, like, Nashville women's team, they're just now starting to get armor.
Yes.
There's a New York team, but they've just been getting together, but only like half of them have armor. There's another team out in Iron Lions has a women's team. I don't remember the names. But they have 5.
But they don't all have armor. I think they only have one person with armor.
They have 2.
2?
Technically 2. They have a third one if she decides to join them.
Technically 2.
They have 2 that are actually on their team, and then there's a third one technically. That's Danielle, but that's if she decides that she wants to fight with them or not.
Yeah.
And then I know that there's a team developing, like the Fire Drakes is developing a women's team, but they don't have armor.
Yeah. Well, so you've got the Matagos.
I got the Matagos.
But the Matagos have been sort of like it's sort of like a mismatch where most of the fighters have been at some place where they cannot compete for whatever reason.
Yeah.
Man, I'd love to get Shanna out. So Shanna and I were supposed to have a pro fight last November.
Really?
And I had to drop because I had found out that I was pregnant.
Right.
And so I had to drop. And then Shanna found out. And then Shanna got pregnant right around that time too. So she was actually pregnant when she did that pro fight. She ended up fighting Shan instead, I think.
Yeah.
So I was supposed to do that fight. I reached out to her. I was like, Shanna, please, I would love for you to hit me with your axe a bunch of times. And she's like, okay, but I don't want to do axe. I want to do sword and shield. I was like, whatever, I don't care. Let's fight. And then I ended up having to drop, and it was very mysterious because I hadn't announced that I was pregnant yet. So I was like, I have a very serious medical condition that means I can't fight. And she's like, what I'm saying is I want to rematch Shanna Martin. I want us to fight.
Shanna Martin, rematch. At least some point. You both had babies, you both get in the process, you got to come back.
She is still, she just had a baby, I think, like 5 or 6 weeks ago. So we'll give it a few months. But I would like that rematch to happen.
November, December, pro fight card. You're coming down.
I'm gonna start a bake sale. We're gonna get travel expenses. I'm ready to go.
I think that's another episode we'll talk about. I think I'll talk to some people. I think in the next episode, one of these next episodes I do, I'm going to talk about fundraising and how I do stuff and how some other people do stuff we're doing there. I think it's going to be important. But yeah, I think it's going to be good. I think all of you should come, and I think, like I said, just strategize and do pro fights and do duels. I think it's going to be fun because I think what's going to happen is that you're not going to be the first mythic to have a baby. You're not definitely not going to be the last. And I think. And even and the same thing for the warlords. I think it's only a matter of time before one of the warlords gets married and
gets pregnant.
Gets pregnant, yeah. and has baby stuff. I think those concessions have already started happening and like timelines are being built. And I think so. I know people are like, man, the warlords are always training, but I think if you look at the timeline, I think the field of battle is going to change as our lives just evolve and change.
Yeah.
We're still going to train. I think what's going to happen is that we're going to evolve and we're going to be at 4 or 5 specific things, and that's the Olympics, like mythics and warlords, 4 or 5 specific things, and that's all you're going to see of that. And probably 3 or 4 of those will be domestics, and then like you see now, 1 or 2 international things, be it in Mexico, be it in Canada, be it overseas, wherever.
Yeah.
That's where you're going to see us at, and you're not going to see us anywhere else because just of life stuff that we're going to be doing. But I'm hoping that Axnax, for at least the men's melees, I think an open melees, I hope it's going to be. I would like to see close to many teams, if not more teams that were Carnage. I think there were 11 teams at Carnage, if I'm not mistaken, 9 or 10. Those are more like 9 or 10 teams. I would like to see that. Hopefully, there's and I think last year there was like 10 teams.
I don't know, man. Carnage is a real special event. I don't know that we're going to top Carnage.
But we're pretty close to that, though.
But I think we'll do good.
Yeah, I think I would like to see. I know Kenya is doing the things when they're not coming. I wish they would because I really want a rematch against them. But I guess we'll just carry till Carnage. I hope that Cerberus is there. I hope that the Omaha guys come out. I would love to see a New York team come out to that. I know it's pretty far. I
want to see Cerberus and Warlord fights so bad.
Yeah, we haven't fought them in so long.
I know.
I would like to see that. I would like to see. Hopefully, Ursus can. There's not a snowstorm this year, and Ursus can stay the entire time.
Yes.
I know the Golden Knights has a team now. I want them to come. Like I know there's. I don't know if the Rust Knights will be there this year, but I know San Jack will be again. San Jacinto will be here again. I don't know if Rust Knights will be at this one. Maybe they will. Maybe they won't. Freeze Company. I would like to see them come back. Canadian Scalagrims. I'm putting Scalagrims. I forgot what team we had. I think it's like Ravenclaw or something. Ravens or Ravens or something. But I know Scalagrims, who beat Knights Hall a couple months ago. I think they're going to come.
Are Scalagrims coming?
I do believe that they're working it out to come.
Ooh, that would be a fight.
Yeah. Knights Hall, I'm sure, will bring a team at some point. Bring a team. I think it's a possibility that they'd be huge for 15 to 20 teams, but I don't know if they're going to come. But it would be so nice if they were. But yeah, it's gonna be a great time. Axe Next, guys. October 8th and 9th. 8th and 9th. At least before we get out of here, any other Boo Hurt news?
Not that I can think of. Is there any other Boo Hurt news?
Not that I can really think of right now. But for now, that's it. So usually I close the show with the beer prayer, but I'm not gonna do that because I already drink all my beer. So for now, we're just going to say good night, good morning, have a great week. We're out of here. Elise, anything last things you want to say, Elise, before we get out of here?
Even if you have a baby, you should keep fighting.
Definitely. Elise
All
is
right.
a good person. And me too. I'm going to live that philosophy if I have a kid. I'm talking to she's I'm talking to. All right, guys.
Okay.
Boo Hurt News. We're out here. Bye.
All right. Bye.